The graphics are even better in 4K. Well, that is true. I mean, I would consider that most graphics are actually probably better in 4K, at least from a resolution perspective. You don't have the same blockiness, you don't have the little outlines that look kind of digitized and stuff like that on the edges, and sometimes you can get better kind of like HDR and stuff like that if you're in 4K, but in general I think that 1080p is pretty good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a 1080p stream, there's nothing wrong with 1080p stuff in general. It's like the difference between 1080p and 4K and between 4K and 8K are almost too minuscule to even worry about. But there are people that do, and that's fine. Enjoy it. You know, that's you do what you like and don't take anyone else's crap for it. But as far as my particular perspective on this matter, yeah, graphics are better, just nominally better. Like, not anywhere worth the additional value that's put into it. Me and GTA waiting for the 5 stars to disappear. Yeah, that's an interesting place to park your car. Gotta say, I can't say as if I've ever seen a car go quite that far into a railroad, and this could be computer graphics. That first image there looks kind of like computer generated to a certain extent, but that second image, it looks pretty much on par. And I have seen cars get into some really weird positions, and positions that cars really should never be in. So, I mean, even if it is computer generated, fine, you know, this could be computer generated, but not all of the car images that I see or have experienced are entirely computer generated. So, it makes sense that there would be cars somewhere in places where they shouldn't be, like down a subway, it looks like. So I don't play much Grand Theft Auto, so I'm not entirely sure how down low you have to lie in wait, but yeah, it's just one of those things. People can do some pretty stupid things, and I mean, granted, everyone is stupid to a certain extent. It just depends on how like blatantly stupid you want to be. But this kind of takes the cake. This is one of the ones where, I mean, congratulations. Yeah, you made me lose my train of thought. Literally, train of thought. No. Pet the dog? Yes. Well, that is not a dog. And considering the Dark Souls font, I would say do not pet that animal unless you are ready for some form of boss fight. I would say that probably the best option here is to avoid it like the plague. I mean, granted, Sif was not entirely a difficult boss fight, but then again, I mean, I can't imagine too many cat boss type things that would be too easy, considering the fact that usually cats are more agile and whatnot than dogs. So I would imagine a cat boss being probably a lot harder than a dog boss in that game. But yeah, the font there, it's like red on black, or no, red on yellow, you're a dead fellow. Yeah, Dark Souls font, you better stay away. So it's kind of like the gaming evolution of the bright colors meaning danger. Yeah, the Dark Souls font is the kind of that for you. I'm dangerous, stay away from me. But no, don't stay away from Dark Souls. Freaking awesome game. I absolutely love having actually started playing them. Like, don't stay away from them. Enjoy them. Go through. Have fun. What do gamers hate the most? Low FPS? A bad teammate? Connection lost? Mom calling to pause an online game? All of them. All of the above. Every single answer is correct here. So it says what do you hate the most, and yes, you do hate them all the most. It just depends on exactly when you are there. Well, like what is going on at that time is exactly what you hate the most. You hate when the frames drop. You hate when you lose connection during an online game. You hate bad teammates that make you lose. You hate somebody calling you out of your game that you cannot pause in order to do something that, you know, probably could be done after you're done playing. But it's just one of those things that, depending on exactly what's going on at that moment, that is what you hate the most. So every single answer here is correct. I don't know why this guy looks upset, because you just pick one and go, and it's correct. So there still hasn't been an era of mobile gaming to defeat this. Oh, what's that? Temple Run, Jetpack, Joyride, Flappy Bird, and Angry Birds. Well, I would agree with that, but that's just because I grew up during that time period. And I think that that would be the case even now during this particular time period of game development and stuff. There are going to be a lot of kids that are growing up nowadays that are going to view nowadays releases of entertainment as being far superior to the ones that are coming down the road. Now, probably not far superior to the ones that were, but far superior to the ones that are coming down the road at least. As far as this, I never really liked Temple Run. Like, it was just far too basic. Jetpack Joyride was okay. I kind of liked the different jetpacks, but it wasn't like integral. Angry Birds was by far the superior game on this list. Like, is the one that really started a whole bunch of the mobile revolution, that mobile games were actually fun ways to spend time instead of just little things that came with your phone, like the snake that used to come with the Nokia phones and all that. You know, these were actually the generation of games that got people interested in mobile gaming and kind of built up that market. So that, I mean, Pokemon Go is by far the most popular selling game in the world. Like, it has the most money coming in for it. So it is what it is, but I think that we're just kind of looking at it from our own perspective, and not so much the fact that it's going to happen the next generation too, because it always does. It's cyclical. Sometimes what a person needs is just one piece. $2,000 gaming PC. Okay, well, I can tell you from experience that that doesn't exactly fill the void, especially if that $2,000 gaming PC doesn't run exactly the way that you want it to run or expect it to run. Yeah, that's not going to work. And $2,000 nowadays, that's not going to buy you much. That's like the graphics card, period. Like, you bought a graphics card, and that's pretty much what it is. Now, I know that if you buy last generation's graphics card, you can get it for a pretty good deal, but if you're going to buy the most modern one, then they're selling for $16,000 to $2,000 a piece. So yeah, your PC is going to be somewhat lacking when compared, but you don't need the most modern, most advanced stuff. And a $2,000 gaming PC, it's perfectly good. Built mine for $5,000 5 years ago, and it still runs just fine. But it is one of those things that sometimes you're always looking forward to whatever it is that you don't have. That missing piece is going to change depending on what you don't have. It's going to be the newest game. It's going to be the newest graphics card. It's going to be the PC. It's going to be a date. It's going to be a lover. It's going to be whatever it is. It's going to change. And whatever that hole is, it's going to be filled up with something. Like, something's going to take that place momentarily until you need to find another piece. Floppy disk, 1.4 megabytes. USB drive, 64 gigabytes. Hard drive, 5 terabytes. Angry girlfriend remembering all of my past mistakes, 1 petabyte. Or, well, no, that looks like 1,000 petabytes, so a yottabyte. Don't do this, ladies and guys. If you're doing this to your girlfriend, past mistakes are in the past. Just move forward. You can't keep bringing up everything that people do in the past. It gets really bothersome and very annoying. And I get it that this is, you know, a joke, and of course a lot of women wouldn't sit there and bring up their past mistakes, and some people are laughing at me, but no, I don't believe that a lot of women would. But it is one of those things that if you do this, it's very toxic and very degrading, and it hurts people more so than you would ever assume. So don't do that. Just let the past be in the past. My wife is still confused why our new router is so expensive. It doesn't look like a router to me. I mean, I've heard the joke that the new PlayStation 5s look like routers, and they don't really look like routers to me. I've dealt with a lot of routers in my life, but my question is, after you've bought it, why would it continue to be so expensive? Like, are you continuing to buy tons of games on it? Because that would kind of show that it wasn't a router if you're buying and playing games on it and connecting it to your TV. Like, granted, I get it, I get the joke, okay? I get it, it's a joke. I understand that. Okay, just let me ruminate here on the possibilities of why this could be funny. Alright? Trying to sit there and think about, okay, if somebody came in and saw it, it looked like a router, but you were playing a video game with it connected and its power light is on and everything, then there's a good chance that they don't think that it's a router. So I think, if anything, then your wife is subtly trying to hint to you that she understands that it's not a router, and that you have roughly 15 seconds to get her something of equal or greater value before that router finds a new home. The game I want to play. All the games I'm still finishing. This is kind of like that other one we saw the other week. But, yeah, finish the games that you start. I mean, these cats are adorable. Like, I like cats. I like animals in general. But cats are really kind of kings of the internet. Anyway. But when you have games, just finish them. Eventually, you're going to be able to get to all those other games that you want to play. And you just, like, in the meantime, just finish the games. I mean, they're good games. There was a reason why you wanted to play them. And at one point, they were the game you wanted to play. So, just continue playing until you're done and then move on to the next one. Granted, I don't really practice what I preach because I move on to games like they're going out of style, but I mean, I get the concept. What is your gaming position? Not that, I'll say. That looks kind of like a very painful gaming position in my opinion. Eventually your legs start to lose blood circulation because the edge of the desk cuts off the circulation, and then have whatever that weird kind of numpad type thing is there. I have to take a look at that because that looks kind of interesting to me. But that's definitely not the gaming position that I would default to. More or less, my gaming position is with one leg across the other. Like, that's about it. You know, kind of like the ankle resting on the leg or the thigh of the other leg. And that's pretty much my gaming position. Sometimes I actually get another chair and I put both my feet up and I'm playing. But for the grand majority of time, it's just a one leg across the other. And I don't think I would ever do this. Maybe put both feet up on the desk, but not spread apart like that. Definitely not. My friend with 1,000 hours in a game. Me being new, but doing my best. Well, doing your best doesn't always cut it, dude. Sometimes your best is just not good enough. And compared to that tank, I would say you're probably gonna lose. Your friend with 1,000 hours in-game is likely going to beat the pulp out of you. Now, not saying that you couldn't like pull something out of your rear end and win, but there is definitely a greater chance that your friend is going to beat the ever-living crap out of you by the time that you even get, you know, a few feet away. It looks like you're literally the size of his tire, so imagine getting hit with that. You're probably, it's not a good day. In the meantime, this is actually kind of an interesting photo. Looks like it's World War II inspired, but you can definitely tell that one is more the officer car and the other is the artillery. Now, completely silent. No, it's 0.1 decibels. Then, it's thinking. Yeah, I remember those days when the computer would make so much noise just to do whatever it was doing. Especially, you hear the old modem sounds and stuff like that. That's like nostalgia in a cup there. And you hear the modem sounds. But yeah, computers with the hard drives were scanning the drive, like depending on how fast your drive was as well, it would sound even more so. But you'd hear the clicking and the beeping as it sat there and worked through its memory and buffers and all that. But nowadays, if you get anything that's over a decibel, then people are freaking out, and my computer is definitely a lot louder than that, and I have all of the settings turned on and stuff like that. I'm not scared of noise, but I can understand where if you want to like show off your PC and stuff, the quieter it is, then you feel even superior to it. But that's just how it is. Different time periods. We grew up in different ways. Who said foldable phones are useless? Well, I mean, I said that multiple times, but that is a good use for it, though I will say that unlike the Nintendo DS, it would be a lot harder to press those L and R trigger buttons, and I don't think that screen would last as long. The problem with having the connected screen is that eventually it loses its elasticity, and when it loses its elasticity, then it breaks apart, and when it breaks apart, it's just ugly. Like, it's just an ugly thing. And so this is a good use for it. It would probably be the only reason I would ever get one of the foldable phones, but once again, you can't really play too much like that because eventually the elasticity wears out and you have a broken phone that used to run as a Nintendo DS. Why not just buy the Nintendo DS? That's kind of my opinion there. When you're sick, so now you can play all the day long without someone telling you to go outside. I've won, but at what cost? How would Wario say that? I've won, but at what cost? I don't know. I don't know how Wario would say that, but it's, being sick, it all depends on the type of sick that you are, to depend on whether or not that's actual cost to playing your video games. But going outside every once in a while, and I've said this multiple times on the channel, is a good thing. Go out every once in a while, have a touch grass moment that helps you play games better. I'm telling you, from experience, it helps you play games better, to get out, get a little bit of fresh air, and come back and go back at the game. So, definitely being sick, sorry, nobody enjoys that, but not much of a cost, depending on what kind of sickness anyway. Playtime, 6 hours. When do I start getting good? Playtime, 5,000 hours. That's the neat part, you don't. Yeah, there are some games where you will never get good, at least not good enough to be able to do it without some form of difficulty. Even Dark Souls, even people who have played Dark Souls for thousands of hours still find certain aspects of it challenging, and that's kind of what draws them back to it time and time again. So sometimes there are some games, and then there are some games where you spend 5 hours in it and you're already a master at the game and nothing can beat you. I think that Ratchet & Clank is kind of like that. The newest one, Rift Apart, like once you get your little exploding grenades, then pretty much nothing can beat you. So you go through the game and you pretty much annihilate everything. So there are some games like that, but there are a lot of games that you never really do get better at. I would say mostly in the Souls-like and Souls genre. There are a few other games outside of that genre that are the same, but I would say mostly in that particular genre, you're going to be facing those 5,000 hours and you never actually get good at it. Me in video games, loaded with cash. Me in real life, loaded with pennies. Different type of cash, but Yeah, this is something that I was talking about in a stream just the other day. It's like, oh man, I just wish that you could find money as easily as you can in video games. Like, you just go out, you break a few vases, and there you go. You have money. And who was it? Darth KCR was saying that then you have to pay for the vase. And like, who cares? I got a gem. Like, a gem will pay for the vase. In the wizarding world, you get galleons for sitting there stealing other people's stuff and satchels and their special treasure chests that have the eye that you can sneak up on and steal 500 galleons apiece. And, you know, that kind of makes it seem like they're pretty easy to come by, so why were the Weasleys so poorly off? I mean, eventually you get to the point where it starts breaking immersion in the game with how much money you can get, but money is just never that easy to come by in real life. You always expect that there's going to be some way you can earn it as easily, even if you're doing the same things. Like you play a power wash simulator, you see them earn $1,000 in a job, and you're like, oh, I can do that. And then you realize that power washing doesn't actually pay $1,000 per job. Some of them do, but a lot harder and a lot bigger and a lot more effort than what it shows inside those particular types of video games. 2358 gaming, 2359 gaming, midnight, woohoo, 1 gaming. Oh, midnight 1 gaming. So yeah, this is exactly how I celebrate my New Year's. You know, you celebrate, you get your little, oh yeah, Happy New Year, send out a little Facebook post, and then you continue your game. Like, it really doesn't do anything. And this is something I had to explain to my wife, because she comes from another country, and in their country, New Year's is kind of a big old party and stuff. It's like, I haven't seen that much in the United States. There's maybe sometimes a midnight party, a drinking party or something that can last to the morning, but that's pretty much it. That's about all that you get for New Year's. There's not like this whole big feast that there is on Christmas or Thanksgiving. There's not like presents or anything like that. It's just basically a drinking party, and if you don't drink, then there's really nothing. You're just like, Happy New Year's, and that's pretty much it. Being somebody myself who does not drink, then that is pretty much my New Year's. I just stay inside and I don't have much to do no matter what. Beating the game, such a pleasant experience. 100%ing the game, unpleasant. That's not entirely true. Okay, I love 100%ing the game. I'm a completionist. Like, my favorite thing is going through and getting all the collectibles and getting all the secret quests and all this other stuff and getting 100% in the game and then figuring out whatever the 100% secret is. Like, what do they give you for 100%? Sometimes it's an additional cutscene. Sometimes it's additional goodies after the game. I know that in the old Lord of the Rings games for the Nintendo GameCube, it used to be that if you 100%ed the game, you used to get cheats that you could use if you were running through the game again. And I think that's awesome. Yeah, do stuff like that. Give us cheats if we beat the game at 100%. Not, of course, usable in online multiplayer or anything, but do something like that. Have it be something super fun that happens as you 100% the game. Reward people for that type of work and investment. I think that a lot of games nowadays don't really have a very satisfying 100% mechanic. And a lot of them don't even have a 100% mechanic. You do, like, it has certain quests. Like, you do these certain quests and then you get a certain ending if you do certain things. Whereas it doesn't have anything specific for having gotten 100%. And its 100% reward is just abysmal. Like, it's not even worth the time for that. I still do it because I'm a completionist, but I can understand a person's point of view if they don't like the reward, why they would be kind of dismal about it. Old Windows search bar. Here's exactly what you wanted with its location. Woof. New Windows search bar. Files, where are files? Want me to search the internet with Bing? No, nobody uses Bing. I like that clip, that video clip. Nobody uses Bing. You could have used Bing. Nobody uses Bing. Yeah, no. The old Windows search was far superior. I don't get what it is with the new Windows search. Like, I can still find kind of what I'm looking for sometimes, But for the most part, it is far lacking in the original algorithms for searching your computer. Like, I don't understand what it is. How did they fall so far from grace there? Like, people just want money, and that greed actually winds up working against them because people don't like the product anymore. If they don't like the product, you're not going to use it. Make it so that people like the product. Don't force it on people because people don't like that. Join me Monday through Saturday as I upload regular gaming content. Gaming means to occur every single day, and gaming uploads to occur every single day, with random other uploads if you want to enjoy something random as well.